Okay, let's take a quick look at getting money, getting your cryptocurrency off of an exchange. We're going to use Binance as an example, and in this case, onto a hardware wallet. So we're going to take we're taking funds off of Binance. Now, just like you would if you wanted to take funds out of your stock market account, your trading account, you're gonna withdraw them. So under funds, you can show your current balances, you can make a deposit, or you can make a withdrawal. So I've clicked on withdrawal, and that gets me this screen. If I want to withdraw funds, I need to tell it, given that Binance has lots of different cryptocurrencies, what do I want to withdraw? So I'll click here, I'll say EOS, and then this asks me what address do I want to send my EOS to. So I'm going to enter the address for my hardware wallet. In this case, I want to move all of my funds off of the Binance exchange. So where it says available, you can click that number or the word available, and it'll fill in your total balance so that you can remove everything. And then you click submit. It's going to ask me to confirm via email. Okay, here's the email from Binance requesting that I confirm the transaction. Typically, every chance I get, I'll verify that I got the address right. Usually you're copying and pasting, but once in a while copy doesn't work right and you'll get something else. Especially if you're making multiple trades, you may have the previous address of your previous transaction. So I always check. I typically check the first 4 to 6 characters of the address and the last 4 to 6 characters to make sure that they look the same. Once I've verified that, I click confirm withdraw. That opens up Binance, which tells me, great, thanks for letting us know. And then we flip back to Binance, and we can just reload this page. And now you can see that the transaction is processing. EOS processing. If I click down, this gives me details about the transaction. This is the address that I just sent the EOS to. The transaction ID, txid, is an identifier for the transaction on the blockchain. You'll see 2 hyphens here because it has not been broadcast to the blockchain yet. I have made the request of Binance. Binance is saying we're processing your transaction, but that's stage 1 for them. They're going to take a few minutes to actually create the transaction and broadcast it to the network. Once it's broadcast to the network, we'll have a txid, and then we'll just wait for that transaction in the blockchain to start building confirmations. So let's refresh this and see if we have a txid yet. Okay, we have refreshed. It took, I don't know, about a minute or so. And now we have a txid. The txid, again, is the identifier for the actual transaction on the blockchain. So now Binance has issued this transaction to the blockchain, and now the Ethereum network is processing this transaction. So now that we have a txid, we can click that. It's a hyperlink. That'll open up that transaction in what's called a block explorer. And this shows us the status. So it's already been integrated into a block. Before it's integrated into a block, it'll say pending, and it'll say time last seen, and you'll have a little swirly progress thing with a time that's counting forward. Now that it's already integrated into a block, it says success, and now we're collecting confirmations. Now it's useful to know about this when you transfer your crypto, because if anything, when you have to wait for a few minutes and money's moving, you can get nervous. So it's good to know what's going on. So if you track your transaction like this, what's happening is you see success means that it's in a block, and then every block that gets added after yours, including the one that you're in, is called a confirmation. One more block is one more confirmation. Typically, every exchange, every wallet will require some kind of number of confirmations to solidify that transaction, to make it what's called immutable in this space. Binance, for instance, I believe requires 30 confirmations for an Ethereum transfer. And you get a new confirmation about every 7 seconds with Ethereum. So let's refresh. And we have 6 blocks. confirmations. So this is the way to track. If I was sending this from Binance to, let's say, Coinbase, which I couldn't do because it's EOS, but let's assume it was Ethereum. If I was sending from Binance to Coinbase, Coinbase would not show this transaction because it doesn't have enough confirmations. So if you see in Binance, well, my balance is 0 in Binance, where's my money? It's very easy to get freaked out about that. This is the way to track. And if you know, oh, I got 6 confirmations and I probably need something like 30, well, you can just keep refreshing the screen, and every 7 seconds you get a new block at 30 blocks. Then you can go back to Coinbase and update on their side and either see the transaction or know that, well, everything's going the way it's supposed to. Coinbase will acknowledge this, the receipt of this transaction, very soon. And then if we refresh this once again, it'll still say processing based on the number of confirmations. So at, like I said, I believe Binance is 30 confirmations. This will say completed, like all of the ones below it, and that transaction will be complete, and you'll see your EOS in your wallet. So that's a walkthrough of how to move your money off of an exchange onto anywhere else. If you're going to do an exchange on another exchange, or if you're going to move it to a hardware wallet. Now, I'm doing this to a hardware wallet, and it's worth a quick note here. Don't leave your cryptocurrency on exchanges. Exchanges are websites. I'm sure you've read in the news many times about websites being hacked. In this case, Binance holds your private key for anything you hold on Binance. If a hacker hacks the Binance website, there's a chance that they get your keys. If they get your keys, they get your money. Binance is not going to give you, compensate you for lost money because of a hack that happens. At least most of the time, that's not the case. So I would not leave crypto on an exchange. Get yourself a hardware wallet and store your crypto there. Read my newsletter for more information and details about hardware wallets, why they're useful, and how to use them. You can also see my other tutorials, in fact, on how to use hardware wallets. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments and questions in the comments. Thank you.